How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be doing a 1-year update on the Honda Prologue. This is a GM product, but obviously Honda is selling it. And surprisingly enough, it is the best selling out of the Chevy, the Cadillac, and the Acura version. So this is the best selling. Goes to show you that naming and branding goes a long way. Also, it's the least aggressive. So the most subtle looking out of the bunch, so probably why it sells the most as well. But anyways, so this video is for anybody interested in either purchasing one or leasing one at this time. So we're just going to go over some common things that we have seen over the last year. So yes, these cars are extremely dirty. They just came off of the truck, so they'll get PDI'd, they'll get washed, etc., etc. So we'll just start off with some basic stuff. And initially we had a couple of them that needed high voltage batteries. So that is an extremely large job. We have to lift up the vehicle, remove the large battery from underneath it. And I believe here we had 3 or 4 of them already that we did. So just something to look out for. And all the codes, all the issues I'm going to be talking about as far as electronic stuff like that, they'll set a whole bunch of lights. You'll only be able to charge it. Some people will get stuck. So it really depends on the situation. But that would obviously be the biggest issue because you can't charge it, and eventually you do run out of batteries. So just something to keep in mind. So we have done a whole bunch of those. We have also done a whole bunch of AC lines. I'm going to open up the hood real quick and just show you exactly what we do there. So underneath the hood, the most common issue that we've been having here is these lines right here don't come drilled properly from factory. So we had a whole bunch of them having a P0534 code, and I'm talking about maybe 10 to 15 of them. And essentially what we had to do is ream these out and test these check valves here. As you can see, they are directional. We've also found some backwards. So a whole bunch of checking that we had to do. I've also replaced this line over here, which runs deep into the car and is an extremely excessive job due to this hose leaking, or one of the hoses leaking right in here. So as you can see, a lot of spaghetti going on here. This is also the same line. It all comes together. So most common issue that we had here underneath the engine bay here, or the motor area, is these lines over here and needing to be reamed, and inspecting these and replacing as needed. So we've also had to replace one of these here. And when I talk about we, I mean at my dealership, there's only 2 of us here actually doing these at this time. So everybody else is kind of not allowed to touch these, but as we can see here, it is a GM product. So everything on these vehicles is new to us, and it's a huge learning curve. But every time we work on one, we learn something new, and we quickly adapt to whatever needs to be done for this. Other than that, underneath the hood, I think everything has been pretty fine here. This is how you disconnect the high voltage system. Don't touch that. That's only for professionals, but if you needed to. And obviously anything orange here, stay away from high voltage stuff there. You do not want to go ahead and mess with that. So we've also had a couple of charging ports here. And the biggest difference between the 24 and 25, so I can tell, is we have these little lines here, and the 24 model year does not. And people were pressing up here, down here, and it wasn't releasing. So they quickly made an adjustment here. So indicate exactly where you press. And we've seen some of these, kind of corrode and heat up and stuff like that. So we've had to do a couple of those. We've also had to do a couple of these doors, because it does come with the sensor here, just indicating that it's open and when it's actually closed. So just a couple of things here. Axles, we've probably done a good 20 sets or so at this point. And what they do is they click, turning left and or right. So we'll go ahead and replace them. Not a long-term fix, as it seems like they do come back, but we're fixing them, we're addressing them. And when we fix them immediately after, they are good, but there have been reports of some coming back shortly after. Moving right along here to the interior, we had a couple of these soft set connectors. So what I mean by soft set, meaning that it wasn't plugged all the way in. We had some wacky stuff from the panel roof not working to some of these lights not working here, and things along those lines. I've also had a couple of these audio units soft set, and they're glitching, stuff like that. But we go ahead, take out this panel, just check the connections, and remove them and install them as needed. Not a big deal. Here in the back, we've had a couple of these cameras fail, and there's reports of them failing on the other models as well. So we've replaced a couple of those. So luckily, fairly easy job, not too big of a deal there. And we've also had some of these harnesses. See that harness right along that control arm? We've had 3 of them already having issues, and we went ahead and had to replace them. Luckily, it is a sub harness and not an entire harness. We had a caliper code on that side, and we've had 2 ABS codes on this side, and they've all fixed those issues. So somewhere along the line, there's a continuity issue, and we go ahead and replace it, and the issue is gone. One last thing I want to mention here that we have had a couple of them failing was the actual gear selector here. So again, fairly easy to go ahead and replace it. So not a huge deal, but I think we had 3 of those needing to be replaced. So that's basically it, guys. I mean, I know I've mentioned a lot of things here, but again, this is a GM product, and we kind of deal with this stuff as it comes. And overall, people do seem to enjoy driving, and they do drive really, really nice. The AC system is phenomenal, but like anything else, first year models always come with a ton of issues, and it looks like the 2025s definitely have less issues, but again, still a little bit early to tell. So around this time next year, I'll have an updated video on the 24s and the 25 model years. So if you're interested in picking one of those up, make sure you subscribe and check back in about a year or so you can get a full update on both this one and the 2025 model year. So that being said, I'll catch everyone on the next one.